So with the announcement that Warner Brothers is putting their entire film slate for 2021 onto HBO Max and in theaters on the same day due to the pandemic, I decided to take a look at their first film release called The Little Things. Hey, I'm Brandon, aka Agent Mushu 3445, and welcome back to another rapid fire mini review. So what is The Little Things? Well, The Little Things is a crime thriller film that follows burnt-out Deputy Sheriff Joe Dickey, played by Denzel Washington, and hotshot detective Jim Baxter, played by Rami Malek, as they join forces to catch a serial killer in 1990 Los Angeles. During the investigation, they soon find a strange man, played by Jared Leto, who becomes their top suspect. But Baxter is unaware that the investigation is dredging up echoes of Dickey's past that could threaten more than just the case. So what did I think of The Little Things? Well, I think one of the things that this movie does well is establishing a suspenseful tone and atmosphere. In regards to the script though, there was actually something interesting that the director, John Lee Hancock, mentioned.
I came up with the story in the early 90s and outlined it and wrote a script, and then through the years there were several different directors that almost made it. And then in 2000 I started directing, and so every few years Mark Johnson would ask me about The Little Things, and I would say, I'm not quite there yet, I'm not ready to do it yet, it was a little too dark, the material, and those kind of things. And then just in the last year or two, we started having discussions about it again, and other friends of mine that loved the script had urged me to revisit it. So thankfully Warner Brothers, who had owned it since the early 90s, said yes.
But yeah, so Steven Spielberg, Clint Eastwood, and Danny DeVito were attached to direct this movie at one point, which I found interesting since it's definitely the weakest aspect of this movie. It's the kind of script that definitely could have used a few more revisions, mainly when it comes to the story progression. But the main drive for this movie is definitely the cast, and I have to say, they all do a good job here, especially Jared Leto, who chews up every bit of scenery that he's in. However, he doesn't show up until about an hour into the movie. Another thing I'd like to point out is that this movie has been getting a lot of unfavorable comparisons to Seven, and while I can definitely see the similarities, especially with the ending, I think that this movie focuses more on the immense stress that these characters and their families are going through while taking on a high-profile case, whereas Seven focuses more on how the characters perceive the state of the world around them while they take on a similar investigation, if that makes sense. So overall, I think that The Little Things is a fine movie, and while it does have a lackluster script, the movie is elevated by the cast and some of the cinematography, which should keep you engaged enough. With that being said, I'm going to give The Little Things a 6 out of 10. Alright guys, that's it. Let me know down in the comments what you thought about The Little Things. And if you haven't seen it, let me know what your favorite crime thriller is. If you guys like this video, feel free to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe for more awesome content like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. That's a wrap.